Thanks, Billy, and it's a pleasure to be here tonight. And I'm here to show support for John, Anne and the family, because I believe John has a lot to offer the farmers of Ireland. And one thing is very important. To be President of IFA, you have to be willing to step up and take a leadership position, be willing to run campaigns. And I know John for over 20 years. Since I got involved in IFA, and I was looking down here, my first day on the Livestock Committee in Dublin, John Mullins and Billy Nicholson and John Coughlan were there, and John replaced them on it. And on that committee I got a hard grounding, working hard for farmers and representing farmers. And when I became National Livestock Chairman, one of the strongest backers I had in that committee was John. Always I knew I could talk to him, ring him if I wanted advice. And Billy referred to campaigns we ran. We ran them from the ground up. It was the farmers that ran them, we just led them. But the committee, and that's why I very much look back to the years when I was in that Livestock Committee, I could ring John any day and count on his support. And with a strong committee, we took on things like, Europe looked at us to say we were crazy when we wanted to change the rules on imports Brazil. We got a suckler welfare scheme. We got lots of other schemes. When I was President, John was County Chairman and backed us in the defence of the single farm payment. The key here is a team working together. It's absolutely essential, and Donny said it, that IFA, it's a grassroots organisation. We have to work as a team and we have to stick together. And we have to, the different groups, whether you're beef, dairy, sheep, hill farmer, we all need to look after each other's back and stick together, because divided you can achieve nothing. And over a long number of years working with John, and Sean reminded me, I said it to him a few years ago, we met casually in Macroom, that there was one of the few people on the Livestock Committee that I thought had the potential to be a president. Someone with the brains and the iron and steel to do the job. Because IFA is about campaigning. We lobby and we campaign. The strength of our lobbying totally depends on our campaigning. So we have to turn out 2,000, 5,000 farmers when necessary, and 10,000. And it's essential that we do that, because one of the things, and no one would know this better than Donny, up to lately we were probably the only organisation in Europe capable of doing that we could put 5,000 or 10,000 farmers on the street. And all across Europe they looked at our strength and admired it. And that's why I believe with the commitment John has and the steel that's in him, I think we can regain our position as one of the strongest organisations in Europe. More than Donny, I've stayed here before, and the courtesy John, Anne and John's father Michael showed me always here, and that's a sign of people, the courtesy and the way they're willing to deal with other people. And I'd have to say anytime I was ever here, it was always a pleasure, and I used to really enjoy meeting your father, John. But I'm here tonight to say that I believe that the best candidate for President of the IFA for the next 4 years, at a time where farm incomes are under pressure, where there's huge pressure on in Brussels to defend the budget, to restrict the huge restrictions that Brussels wants to put on us on the environment. We're being asked every day to do more for less, cuts in the single farm payment and more environmental regulations. So it's very important that we send someone out to Brussels, like John, with experience in Brussels, that knows how to negotiate. So it's very important. And finally, Anne, the one thing I want to say here is, everyone here needs to get in behind Anne and Billy, because there's no use talking in the middle of January that you should have done more. It's essential that you get in your cars, that you campaign. A lot of it can be done here in Cork to increase the numbers. You've got to get the numbers out in your own branches, you've got to get them out in Munster, and you've got to get them out up and down the country. So it's going to take a serious effort. It's only going to be a couple of weeks, but all your future depends on it. So again, John, I want to wish you all the best, and you know you can count on my support.